Welcome to this video on Tapcon TV mounts. Tapcons are concrete screws that come in different sizes that hold different weights. And in this video we're going to find out if only the 1.5 by 1/4 inch Tapcon concrete screws can hold up a TV that weighs over 100 pounds. I have done different videos on Tapcons where I've demonstrated how to install them and what kind of bits to use. It's simple. You just want to use a masonry bit to drill a hole, and then the threads of the concrete screws actually cut into the concrete, and then they hold a tremendous amount of weight. Today I'm just going to be using my corded hammer drill. You can use a regular drill with masonry bits. It just takes a little longer. You have to use a little bit more force. But if you have a hammer drill, either a cordless or a corded, then it makes short work of drilling the holes. In my other video, I installed 2 TV mounts using plastic expansion anchors. Don't forget to check that video out. I demonstrate in that video how to install 3/8 inch plastic expansion anchors and how much weight that they can hold. There are several different anchors that you can use in masonry. Most TV mounting kits come with some kind of plastic expansion anchor into which you can put the lag bolts, which you would normally put in a wood stud. With concrete, of course, you have no studs at all, so you have to make sure you use something that expands or like a concrete screw. These are the tools I use in the other video. I have a Milwaukee hammer drill, regular drill and driver with a hammer setting, and this is a hammer drill, a corded one. Very fast, very powerful. I used a regular drill in the other video as well. It just takes a little bit longer, but it can be done. If you don't have a hammer drill, you can use regular masonry bits, but make sure that they're sharp, good, and the proper size masonry bits. And use a little bit of elbow grease, and you can eventually get a hole drilled. What you want to do is mark where you want your TV mount. Make sure you realize that the TV will be the top of the TV will be higher than where the mount is. You want to make sure it's level. Use a marker to mark. I just mark right in the hole where I'm going to drill. Start out at the drill setting to make an indentation. If you start right out with the hammer setting, it might start skipping around. Especially with something with a large aggregate, it can be difficult to be precise. So you want to make sure you start out slow, and then you turn on the hammer setting like this, and it goes right through like nothing. With concrete screws, it's very important to blow out the dust with something. If you keep the dust in the holes, it could end up, the screw could end up bottoming out, and then the hole could strip, and then it won't be useful for a concrete screw. You saw I put the mount back up to make sure that the hole's still aligned. Make adjustments if necessary. Once you get your holes, you're going to want to use a nut driver of some kind, 5/16 for this particular concrete screw. And you can see they're really short, but it doesn't need to be embedded much more than an inch or an inch and a half. With the concrete blocks, these are only, I think, about 1.25 inches thick, and then it's hollow, so they don't need to be that long. Once you get them 99% of the way in, I like to tighten them up by hand because you don't want to strip them. It's very easy when using power tools to over tighten these. Once you get it tight, you don't need to get it that much tighter. So there it is. We have a TV mount, fully extendable. Here I am putting my weight on it. As you can see, if it can hold up 175 pounds, and it can hold up a pretty big TV. Most TVs these days are pretty light anyway. Here I am doing pull-ups on it. You might actually be able to put in a pull-up bar using the same process. Here I am drilling into solid concrete just to demonstrate that the principle is the same. You want to make sure that you drill in further, longer than the actual fastener. You want to make sure that it doesn't bottom out. and then blow out all the dust. That way the concrete screws, the threads can cut right into the concrete and won't be impeded by any dust and debris. This particular job is a 3/16 concrete screw. So I was using either a 4mm bit or a 5/32 drill bit to make this hole. You can go very slow, and then once you get the concrete screw tight, then that's it. You don't need to tighten it any further, and if you do, it could end up spinning, which means it's stripped and it will be useless. If you're going to use a power driver or your drill, just make sure you're not going too fast, and then once it gets tight, make sure you stop tightening. And you can actually use a regular screwdriver. It might be difficult to turn it, but you'll make sure that you're not over tightening if you use a regular screwdriver. So there it is. If you have a TV to mount on concrete, you can mount it on solid concrete. This is a poured foundation wall. You might have a wall between houses that might be solid. You might have a concrete block, or aka cinder block wall, or even brick. The concept is the same. You just want to make sure you drill a good size, the properly sized hole, blow out the dust, make sure the mount is level, tighten but don't over tighten the screws, and then you just follow instructions for mounting the rest of the TV. These concrete screws are durable. They're coated with a corrosive resistant coating. The 1/4-inch concrete screw can hold up your TV. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to watch my other videos on concrete screws, Tapcon screws, TV mounting on plaster walls, plaster and lath walls, plaster over brick, plaster over concrete, metal studs, and single stud TV mounts. So subscribe for more tips, and thank you very much.